Hey there, I'm back. It's about 9:30 on Wednesday night still, and had a chance to grab a bite to eat, walk around a little bit, and pour over all of the panel sessions that are going to be there tomorrow. And it's pretty wild. I had several questions from students before I left for San Francisco and was telling them about the conference and so on. They say, well, how does the conference work, and how many sessions are there, and what do you actually do during the day, and which are all kind of legitimate questions. As a matter of fact, I had a couple graduate students who had been accepted to conferences for the first time and were asking us similar kinds of questions, and so that's been in the back of my mind since I've been here. So as I was going over all the session lists, I decided, well, let me see what we're actually talking about. How much of this conference do I actually get to see? And I had my first glance through the program, I saw a bunch of things that I wanted to do and thought this might be interesting, and kind of just made notes of them. And there's an online program through the 4C's website that you can actually tag different ones that you like, and then it'll print a schedule for you. So I had that schedule with all these conflicting times and all that. And so anyways, I was going through and I was looking at this stuff, and I saw that for each time slot that there's a session, there's 39 sessions going on. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be able to go to 4 sessions, right? I could potentially go to a fifth and a sixth, but we've got this labor caucus interest group that happens from 5 to 7 tomorrow evening, so I'll miss some of the sessions. But if you think about that, that's a total of, let's see, 156 sessions going on just between 10:30 and 4:30, I believe. 10:30 and 4:30 in one day. It's 156 sessions, and I get to see 4 of them. So it gives you the sense. It gives you a sense of how big this conference is, and how much cool work is going on. So I've narrowed my schedule down, and I think I've got my 4. One of them is one that I have to go to because it's my panel. Just check these out. So for example, the first one tomorrow at 10:30 is this one. It's called "From Textile Mills to the Entrepreneurial University: Confronting the Political Economics of Writing." I mean, very, very cool stuff. Now, I don't think it's probably the best etiquette in the world to sit here and read while I'm online, but let me just show you something. So this is what this description of this session is. I'll give you the first paragraph of it, or part of it at least. So this is the growing gap between the rich and poor in the United States, the systematic political disenfranchisement of immigrant, low-income, and minority groups, a transnational economy that pits workers across borders against one another in an international race to the bottom, the neoliberal philosophy of deregulation, defunding, and privatization aiming to subject all social spheres, including education, to the logic and goals of the free market. Contemporary conditions make it as important than ever that class be conspicuous in public political discourse. Yet even our rhetorical theories and pedagogies emphasizing class do not proceed from a political economic perspective. Instead, rhetoricians and critical pedagogues most often articulate class as a cultural identity, isolated from material and political relations of production. While this may be an understandable legacy of rhetoric and composition situatedness in English departments, where literary studies concerned with textual representation takes precedent over writing as action, the result is that even the most radical perspectives can wind up functioning as inert analytical tools. Writing might be used to explain the world, but not to change it. I mean, I wanted to read that part just because you get a sense of the depth of the kind of theoretical sophistication and some of the kind of real pressing questions that are being asked in this session in a conference on college composition and communication. I think a lot of times the perspective that even members of the university, my university, and students, when they think about composition and rhetoric, one of the first things they think about is the first year writing class. Now, of course, that's true. I mean, that's where this field got its birth, right, through the kind of first-year writing classes and college writing and all that. But the scope of what we do in this field is so much broader. And I think that session there is actually kind of interesting for me personally as we're developing this program in composition, rhetoric, and literacy studies, because it does lay some of the groundwork for some of the same kind of arguments that we're making at Kutztown. So, for example, my class on rhetoric, democracy, and advocacy, there's echoes of this session in this class that I proposed that hopefully will be on the books it'll be on the books, but hopefully will be offered next spring, 2010. So that's just the first session. So after I get through with that heady one, I'll go on to we have been here forever towards a history of compositionists of color rewriting rhetoric within and beyond NCTE and 4Cs. This is a kind of incredible panel discussion. Gwendolyn Pugh from Syracuse University is going to be on this. Min-Chan Liu will be there. Geneva Smitherland. There's a bunch of folks. I think it's about 10 people. Lu-Ming Mao, who's actually at Miami University where I did my PhD. He's going to be on that panel. That'll be really interesting. Then after that, it's Driving into the Wreck, a feminist inquiry of the dissertation in composition. And this is a cool one because one of our own, Amy Lynch Bieniek, is going to chair that session, and Misty Rudd is one of our newest hires who will be joining us at Kutztown next fall. She will be presenting her paper on there, so I really want to go to that. And then following that session, we'll go to my session with Seth and Amy and Rachel and Mary and Eileen, Labor Rhetorics and Academic Organizing, Possibilities and Predicaments. So that'll be kind of cool too as well. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to post this video kind of into the blog, but I'm going to give you a list of those sessions underneath. So if if you're just curious and you want to see a little bit more, I've embedded some links there where you can click on it and kind of read more about the session, individual papers, and so on. But that's kind of where we stand. So my plan at this point is I might just get a good night's sleep and get up early. Do some revising like I always do of my paper, and get an early start, get a nice breakfast going, get some cup of coffee, maybe have a little Ghirardelli chocolate later on. And I'm thinking about, for the Labor Caucus tomorrow night, I've got to make sure I put this in my bag tonight, that's why I have it out, is this little baby. This is a Troublemaker's Handbook, which I find actually kind of interesting in this. It's really kind of more labor organizing and that kind of stuff, but when I think about rhetorical practice and rhetorics of advocacy, I think about those kind of handbooks and suggestion books about how people actually do this kind of public persuasion and work in everyday context with persuasive discourse. So anyways, that's where I'm at now. Yeah, we'll see what we find out tomorrow. I don't know what kind of time I'm going to have. I'm sure I'm going to try to cajole somebody for giving you another perspective other than mine on this conference. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.